like with all that, with all the like, the protests and a lot of different things going on in society, we've seen a lot of changes, statues coming down, teams changing their names. There's been a big push for the Redskins to change their name. Like, do y'all think we're experiencing history right now? Like, do you think this is a special time? This is going to be a moment they're going to be talking about in the history books. Our kids going to be learning about this time right here, or is this just another, you know what I'm saying, or just another one of them? And we just, like, what do y'all think? Y'all think this is like legit history we going through right now?
Yeah, man. At first I didn't think it was going to be that, but after, like you said, the statues and like all the changes, the rulings, the words, the flags, yeah, it's a better outlook. Like I just wanted it to be more economic anyway. You could show us all types of stuff, but like until it becomes like economically sound, that's when it's like for real. That's how I feel.
So you think a lot of this is just gesturing? Like, do you think this really has any like relevance to it? You know what I'm saying, long term, or you just like, do you think it's more about policy changing? You know what I mean?
I mean, a little bit of both though, because like you saw how like the companies kind of jumped on the Black Lives Matter movement and all that, but then we had spoke about that, like the Black dollar and how influential it is in the culture and in like just retail and all that too. So it's like I'm 50-50 still.
Yeah. I agree.
It's just gotta be more. It still gotta stay progressive, and I'll really be able to judge it more once we're all back to our regular freedoms, man. Like not consumed to the house and limited to, you know what I mean, whatever activities.
I agree. I think it's about 50-50. But I would say you got to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You got to start somewhere with at least rewriting history or with a change at the least. You know what I'm saying? But I think I definitely do agree with that. I think it is rewriting history. I think, especially with, what was it, Mississippi, I think, or was it Alabama? One of them was changing their state flag, taking the Confederate joint up out of that joint. And I remember like a couple of weeks ago, there were, I think it was the same state where it was a college football player said he wasn't going to play unless they took the Confederate flag out of their joint. And lo and behold, a week or two later, we got them changing the flag and shit.
Right.
I think you got to start somewhere. I know some people going to say, "Oh, it's just a gesture," or "It don't really matter," But I think you got to start somewhere at least.
Yeah.
And I think it's a positive change. I think it's positive for the positive.
Exactly. And it's been intense too. That's why I say I don't want to discredit it because everybody's starting to jump on.
Yeah, you don't want to discredit it, but at the same time, you can't trust these motherfuckers. They've shown us throughout thousands of years that these niggas can't be trusted. Like, we have evidence that goes back millennia showing
that's what got us over.
This is corrupt. So you wanna, at the end of the day, you hope and you pray that like the things that are happening are for the better, but at the same time, it's just hard to believe that like they not gonna go down without a fight type shit. You know what I'm saying? And like it's just weird. But like the only thing you can do, like you said, is you got to start somewhere, right? So
definitely,
because they in a heartbeat, people like to say, "Look how far we have come," and we really haven't come that far.
It's been a few weeks.
Exactly, it's been a few weeks of protesting. That's it. We really haven't come that far.
Real talk.
I like to think that we are making some headways, especially like with all the Confederate flags and Confederate statues and stuff coming down. Just for the simple fact of, and like, so with the statues and the different things coming down, it brings about a whole conversation as opposed to like what was taught to us like growing up. So like hypothetically speaking, I know for a fact we weren't necessarily taught, or I at least I don't remember like all the different Confederate generals and like how they was getting statues and all that good shit. But now if you think about it, like when they actually talking about it in school, and it's like it's probably gonna be like a little conversation as to why these statues are coming down and like the symbolism the symbolism, I'm sorry, of why it's actually coming down and what it really means. And like actually, so like even as you think about going to the different like prominent places in, I'll say DC, like earlier this week, We went to like Logan Circle, and even as you go to Logan Circle, you literally just want to figure out who John A. Logan is. So right then and there, you actually have to do your research and have to do your things. But at the same time, I will say this: that one reason I'm so hesitant about it is I saw something where it was talking about like how the influx of Confederate monuments that was actually built, it was like 2 different times. It was like one time in which basically like back in the 1920s, around that time, where like all the Confederate flags and the Confederate like statues and started being like put up or what have you. And around the same time with the Tulsa bombers. So it was like always like conflicting around like when white people were trying to set black people back, they were also giving them like when black people were making strides, white people would always like set up a statue or some type of resemblance of themselves to make it known that, you know what I'm saying, like the
supremacy.
Yeah, the white supremacy was in order. And then at the same time, like when Martin Luther King was making his push for change in like around the 60s and 70s, not only Martin Luther King, but like all those social advocates and the civil rights and all those different movements were going. That's when another influx of Confederate monuments and statues were actually started to come about. So that's one tendencies, like with me, is like, all right, yeah, we're making extreme push and we're making extreme changes, and like it's actually going to make them hopefully it makes them change the way we teach our kids in the curriculum and everything. But at the same time, it's like everybody probably thinks it's still a little bit of hesitancy on my part. Like I want to see the action. I want to see the action behind it, as opposed to these little token gestures. Like
because you ain't sold that. That's why. That's because you not drinking all the Kool-Aid. You like, all right, let me sip this joint right quick, because it just don't make sense to just put all your eggs in one basket and then get your hopes up.
Nah, and honestly,
all right, so my question, right? All right, so when we talk about like the people that are when we say we don't trust it, the people that's putting knocking these statues over are the people that's supposed to be fighting for us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do we not trust the people that's actually doing this? Like they're supposed to be doing this for us. Like is that who we're talking about when we say we don't trust? Like we don't trust it? The ones that's supposed to be fighting for us?
No, I mean like see that's where I'm conflicted. I don't trust the justice portion. Like until I'm shown true justice,
okay.
Yeah, like I'm not comfortable yet at all.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I don't trust, like, because so even though like these different gestures and like the Confederate flags and the Confederate monuments and statues and all that are starting to remotely come down, there's still laws in place, whereas though like still do whatever they want. So like the actual laws and shit is the true part. That really mean like I don't really trust it, because although we can take down all the statues and all the Confederate flags and everything that is quote unquote deeming like white supremacy or what have you, and breaking down some of the systemic racism or racism, it don't mean shit if the laws are still allowing black people or allowing people of any color or any race or any gender to not necessarily be, you know what I'm saying, like treated fairly.
Yeah. And just like, and that's what I meant to clear up when I said justice. Like, just like these crimes has been committed, George Floyd and all that. Like, I need to see this man go under. Like, these police can't be getting off, stuff like that. Because that's what's going to build trust, if you will, for me.
And something. Have any of y'all actually been to DC? Like, actually, since the riots and protesting, have any of y'all like just driven through DC and like actually seen the damage, or like any of y'all? I've actually seen that shit.
Yeah.
All right, but do you notice where the damage and all the damage is at? It's not in the black neighborhoods. It's where all the white people hang out.
Shit, yeah.
It's like on H Street, 14th and U, Connecticut Avenue, DuPont Circle. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So then if you go right over the bridge, you go to Southeast or whatever, and then you go through those neighborhoods, ain't shit. Everything looks normal. Ain't nobody knocked nothing down. the same shit. So that just has me curious as far as DC is concerned, like who's really doing the protesting? Because it seemed like the black people, you know, like was the black people hopping on the train or driving down the DuPont Circle to riot? Or you know what I'm saying? Like who was actually doing that? And then the funny thing is that in the same place where I see these like all these boarded up shits, like you see like Black Lives, it's not even Black Lives Matter, it'd be like Black Trans Lives Matter and shit like that. So it'd be making me think like, all right, so really the ones that's out here doing the fighting, like is it people with their own agendas? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how it went from George Floyd to Black Trans Lives, because I ain't got shit to do with George Floyd. It was
That's a good question.
About Black lives. Let's just leave. Why are we talking about sexuality when it comes to when we talking about Black lives? It ain't got shit to do with sex.
But I don't know where that's
that in there. You know what I'm saying? That don't make
it was black folks out. It was black folks out there when I rode down there and see people protesting. It was predominantly black folks on New York Avenue and shit like that. But yeah, of course, like all these other groups are going to piggyback off this shit because you know they want.
And even at the same time, so it started out as George Floyd, but then at the same time, we already know it's a combination of different things that have been happening. But at the same time, even after George Floyd, it seemed like it was, it turned out that it was like two transgenders or two trans people, as well as like Breonna Taylor. But it was like two transgenders, people that were killed right after George Floyd. And it was basically like the same way we always talk about say their names. I think that's where that came out, and it was like, all right, well, the trans community felt like their voice has never been heard, and I know, like, it all makes sense.
They heard every day.
As we talk about,
that sounds like so it's using it as an opportunity to get your personal agenda. That's what it sounds like. That's exactly what you're saying. It sounds like it's getting hijacked. That's what you're saying.
No, but at the same time, if we talk about Black Lives Matter, we also talk about the whole scope of things. So even as we talk about Black lives, we're not just talking about Black men. We talk about Black women. We talk about everybody as a whole purpose, as a whole people. So yes, it's.
But you know that whether you're a man or woman or
sexuality or whatever,
whether you're a man or woman or trans, you're still Black. So putting your sexuality or putting I'm a Black woman, it's all Black. There's no need to break it down into more sections at all. It's zero. We all Black, whether you trans, whatever the fuck, we all Black. It's not saying no need to break it down into smaller segments. You said what?
But because they're not breaking it down for Breonna, so why break it down for everybody else?
You said not breaking it down for
Breonna Taylor. Yeah,
they didn't break it down for Breonna Taylor, so why break it down for the trans?
Because
that's that personal agenda.
I feel not, but at the same time, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like sometimes, and it's just sometimes I feel like those communities and those people aren't truly recognized and aren't truly somehow or another they necessarily attach, that people don't necessarily like some Black people or some people don't fully attach them to the Black Lives Matter. I mean, not necessarily Black Lives Matter, but they don't necessarily fully embrace them because they are a subset of people. You know what I mean? Like, and then how
see that, bro.
No. I'm saying like some people discount like because there is like in the Black community, in some Black communities, there is like the persona or the perception that like a Black trans life doesn't mean the same as a Black person's life. Not necessarily like in terms of like dying or whatnot, but like the Black people cast off like a transgender or what have you. It's like they don't look at them as a true. I don't want to say a true. I'm trying not to say a true person.
I feel like that's just adding confusion. Like that's like that's taken away from what
George Floyd
main agenda.
Like it's segregating the subject.
Like honestly, if I'm just being honest, that seems more like a white problem. Honestly, that's like okay, like you bringing this up now, like why is all of a sudden now you're gonna use what someone's death and us doing Black Lives Matter, and all of a sudden now, like you said, Marcus, now we got to involve the LD, what is it, LGBTQ, all the motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? And guess what?
I mean,
saying like,
that's because it was Pride Month.
Rights, but at the same time, it's like, because there's a time and a place for everything. And right now, adding that is just going to add to the confusion. And and we started this conversation off by saying, I just don't trust it because it's like there's still so many.
Yeah.
I feel as though there's still a lot of like white hidden agendas still attached to the Black Lives Matter. So if we allow for that 50% to take over, it's just like I don't know. It's
I mean, you can add to it. You just don't separate yourself when you add yourself to it.
Exactly. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Trans ain't got nothing to do.
Don't segregate.
But being black, your race ain't got nothing to do with sex. Ain't got nothing to do with gender. With gender, we are all fucking black, regardless of our beliefs, religion. Like put it like this. Like all right, we can say, oh, like if a black trans person gets killed, it's not as valued as much. But like I said, all right, even when the protests, there was a black cop that got killed. He's a black man still, you know what I'm saying? So if nobody talked about his death, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, so now we need to say black cops' lives matters now. It's like we got to add that to because nobody recognizes them. Like, you know what I'm saying? How a black man get killed in a Black Lives Matter protest? Like, how does that even sound?
Defending the pawn shop.
And even on top of that, in Wendy's, right? And at the fucking Wendy's, and what's it called? You know that Wendy's got burned down by 2 white women? 2 white women burned down that in Wendy's. Right? What the fuck? Okay, then. So this is a thing that I've been thinking about a lot. Like that shit don't make us look good as black men when white women from another fucking race trying to fight in our honor and shit like that. How that make us look as men? You know what I'm saying? And with niggas out here co-signing that shit.
You remember that?
Supposed to be frontline for our people more than any fucking body else. And niggas out here co-signing that behavior? Like, nah, nigga. That means that we ain't speaking for ourselves.
I do feel you on that.
Remember on the Malcolm X joint, the movie Malcolm X with Denzel Washington? Remember
just watch that.
When he was walking up to the joint and the white chick she pulled up on her, she was like,
I need so.
She was like, Mr. X, what can a white girl like me who really believes in your cause, what can I do? Nothing, motherfucker.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Kept moving.
Where them Malcolm X niggas at?
You say what?
But
where them niggas at? Them niggas don't exist no more.
Can't do that for me.
Nah, it's man. But just like you said, I agree with you, man. I can't co-sign that either, man. Just because it's destructive, it looks ignorant as fuck, and then like it's a bad representation. Ain't shit getting done off of that.
And then not even that, but guess who fucking worked at that Wendy's in Atlanta? Black people worked at that Wendy's in Atlanta, and it got burned down by white people in honor of black people. What fucking sense does that make? Like, think about that shit. Wendy's got burned down, and black people lost their jobs in honor of black people. That shit don't make no fucking sense. That might damn near be racist. She ain't burned down the Wendy's in her neighborhood. She burned down the Wendy's in the black neighborhood. That sounds racist to me right there, don't
exactly. That's that ignorance, dog. And then, like I said, they do like we live in the era when shit is like trendy. So the week before they saw the fires and everything. Yeah, it's man, it's not even for the cause like you said. It's just
none of this shit makes sense.
Something genuine out there. It's something genuine.
It's some goofy. This shit goofy toofy to me, nigga.
Yeah, the shit that put out on the media is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Nah, I'm with you on that.
I hear that.
Hated it.
But what